Hello Buck, we've got the transmission apart out of your 95 Bronco. Now this is what it looks like when it's all apart. I'll go over some things that I found inside the unit with you, and Eric or Amanda will contact you with some cost estimates. We'll start with the shift tower, and this is the fork for third and fourth gears. You can see the step that's here. That's not supposed to be there, so the step is how much wear that this fork has. This other fork is for first and second, and it's worn so severely that the fork is supposed to engage inside this groove here, and then as the fork moves, it's going to move this slider back and forth. So for first gear it would be back, for second gear it would be forward. But you can see I can pass this slider all the way through the fork, and the fork itself is not doing anything. And that's not obviously the way it's supposed to be. That allowed this fork and this rail to move forward farther than it was engineered for, and what's happened is this plug here, you can see, is popped out, so you would have had a big leak there, and that's going to be because of this wear from this shift fork. If we look at the area for fifth gear, you can see the pieces of this cage bearing. That is actually supposed to look like this, so there's two of these stacked inside of this gear sitting down in here, and you can see that that bearing is damaged, of course. The fifth gear, if we look at the teeth here, the slider engages over top of those teeth, and you need a nice sharp edge, and what's happening here is these teeth are rounded off, so this may end up with a notchy shift or a grind during the shift, so we're going to have to replace that gear as well. And the slider's got the same situation. These teeth here are supposed to engage over top of the gear like that, and they have some wear on the taper as well, so the slider and the gear are going to have to be replaced. The bearings have some pitting. It may be difficult for the camera to pick up on it, but there's little pits all inside of the race. For this is the rear on the main shaft, and this is the front race on the main shaft as well, so there's both of those bearings are pitted. These other ball bearings, they don't spin freely. There's like a bind spot in there that the bearing is probably no good as well. The other gears, they actually don't look too bad. You can see there's a nice sharp edge on that tooth there, and that's what I was talking about in fifth gear. It should have a nice taper like that. But these other gears themselves look okay. The synchro rings, they're not worn out, so they could be reused in a repair. And the other on the main shaft, or third gear, there's a little bit of rounding on third gear as well. So essentially, a couple of gears are going to have to be replaced. Sliders themselves, some taper wear there as well. Bearings look like they're showing their age as well. The big thing is the shift forks in the tower wore out, and that cage bearing, of course, is a reason for concern as well. So as I said, Eric or Amanda will contact you with some cost estimates, and we'll go from there. Thanks.